Kim Soon-ja's last day was ordinary. She woke at 5 to prepare for the market. Her neighbor found Soon-ja collapsed, clutching her chest. Soon-ja. No response came. The ambulance rushed her to the hospital, but it was too late. Massive heart attack, the doctor said. Shul-soo and Mi-young felt their world collapse. Just yesterday, their mother had called asking, "Are you eating well?" The funeral lasted 3 days. Everyone came. "She was such a good woman," Mrs. Park sobbed. "Always honest, worked so hard raising those children alone." After the funeral, they cleaned out the countryside house. Shul-soo discovered something peculiar in the bedroom corner. "Mi-young, what's this?" An old clay jar sat covered with faded cloth. Thick dust had accumulated, but something was odd. A small padlock secured the opening. Why would she lock it? Mi-young wondered. Shul-soo lifted the jar, surprised by its weight. Something was inside. When he shook it, the contents rustled. Rice? Maybe beans? The siblings exchanged glances. Why had their mother hidden this jar so carefully? "Brother, we need to open this." Despite searching everywhere, the key remained elusive. Frustrated but curious, they took the jar to Chul-soo's home. For days, the jar sat in Chul-soo's living room like an unsolved puzzle. "What do you think is inside?" Mi-young asked. "Probably money," Chul-soo replied. Savings mother accumulated over 30 years running her market stall. "If it's money, how much might there be?" Mi-young's eyes sparkled. "Could be hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of won." However, as days passed, excitement gave way to doubt. "Brother, are we certain it's money? If mother had substantial savings, wouldn't she use a bank?" "You don't understand that generation," Chul-soo explained. "People who lived through war never trusted banks." "Even so, there's definitely an odor, musty, like mildew. Maybe there's spoiled food instead of money." "No, I still believe it's money. Old bills develop that smell." Their voices rose as frustration mounted. What began as excited speculation evolved into disagreement. "I don't think it's money," Mi-young insisted. Mother wasn't secretive. "Mi-young, you're naive. There's so much about mother we never knew." The siblings spent days arguing. The solution seemed simple: just open it, but the padlock thwarted them. Finally, Shul-soo reached his limit. "Mi-young, this is ridiculous. Let's open it, even if we destroy the lock." "Should we break it?" "Why not? This belongs to us now." Shul-soo retrieved pliers. The old padlock yielded easily, snapping with a metallic crack. With trembling hands, they lifted the heavy lid. "What in the world?" Both siblings gasped. No money greeted their eyes. Instead, the jar contained 2 burlap bags filled with very old rice. The grains had yellowed with age, clearly inedible. Between the bags was a small cloth bundle. "Rice? Just rice?" Shul-soo couldn't hide his disappointment. "Wait, brother, look at this." Mi-young unwrapped the bundle. Inside were yellowed papers with faded handwriting, plus a small black and white photograph showing a young woman in traditional Korean hanbok. "Do you recognize this person?" Shul-soo asked. "I think this might be grandmother, mother's mother," Mi-young replied. Shul-soo carefully unfolded one letter. The text was written in traditional brush strokes, ink faded to brown. "Mi-young, can you read this?" "Let me try." "It's old-fashioned calligraphy." Mi-young accepted the letter reverently. As she began reading, her heart grew heavy. "My dear Soon-ja, this rice represents everything I could save to ensure you never go hungry." Both siblings stopped breathing. This wasn't ordinary rice. Their grandmother had left these grains as a legacy of love. The letter continued: "Even when times become difficult, Look at this rice and remember to endure. Someday, better days will come. Suddenly, their mother's attachment to this jar made perfect sense. Mi Young continued reading as the letter revealed their family's hidden history. Soonja, when the war ended, our family lost everything. Our house was destroyed, our fields burned. The characters seemed to blur as Mi Young's eyes filled with tears. But you must never give up hope. Each handful of this rice represents our family's determination to survive. Whenever you feel like you might starve, take out just a little. Remember that your mother's love is in every grain. Shulsu looked at the rice bags with transformed eyes. These weren't spoiled provisions. They were lifelines that had sustained their mother through the Korean War. Your mother survived the worst years because of this rice. You cannot imagine how much she suffered from hunger. The letter became even more heartbreaking. Soonja, I'm sorry I couldn't provide you with a better childhood, but please protect this rice. When you have children, this may help them understand where they came from. Shulsu bowed his head, overwhelmed. Now he understood why their mother had been so vigilant about food waste. Never waste food, children. Even a single grain of rice is precious. These were their mother's most repeated words. We thought it was just nagging, Mi Young whispered, wiping tears. The letter's conclusion proved even more powerful. Soonja, whenever life becomes overwhelming, look at this jar and remember that your mother's spirit is watching over you. Someday the day will come when you find true happiness. The siblings sat in profound silence, overwhelmed by their grandmother's message across decades. Now I understand why mother could never throw this away. Mi Young nodded through tears. This isn't just rice. It's grandmother's love made tangible. That evening, they sat together, sharing memories that now carried entirely new meaning. Their mother Soonja had been orphaned at 18. When war claimed her father and disease took her mother, she faced the world alone, carrying only her mother's love and the precious rice. When Soonja eventually married, her husband died young, leaving her alone with 2 small children. Every morning at 4, she would wake to prepare for the market. She conducted business with unfailing honesty. Mother never once complained about how hard her life was. Several days after their discovery, Shulsu found himself struggling with conflicting emotions. The letter had moved him, but practical concerns nagged. I still can't believe there wasn't money saved somewhere, he confided to his wife. The funeral expenses alone cost over 10 million won. This prompted Shulsu to call Mi Young. Mi Young, are you certain we've found everything? Brother, I've searched every room, contacted all banks. There's nothing else. Then how are we supposed to manage the financial burden? Brother, you're missing the point. You need to consider what mother really intended to leave us. How can 2 bags of spoiled rice carry any practical meaning? Did you forget grandmother's letter? This inheritance is more valuable than money. Mi Young's voice rose with frustration. What's valuable about it? We're struggling to raise our own kids. Don't you understand how mother sacrificed her entire life for us? I know she sacrificed. But think about our situation now. Their argument grew heated. Eventually, the 2 didn't speak for days. A week later, Mi Young discovered something amazing while rereading the letter. There was more writing faintly visible on the last page. Huh? What's this? Looking closely, there were words their grandmother had added. Soonja, there is something more valuable than rice. Mi Young held her breath. That is the sight of the children you bore living in love with each other. The letter continued. Money and property don't matter, but if siblings turn their backs on each other, nothing is sadder. Tears welled up in Mi Young's eyes. I left this rice so that you would live caring for each other. This was their grandmother's real message. The harder times get, lean on each other. Mi Young hurriedly called Chulsu. Brother, there's more hidden writing. Chulsu rushed over. Mi Young showed him the letter. Chulsu read the letter, his face reddening. If siblings turn their backs on each other, nothing is sadder. It was exactly their situation. Brother, we were such fools. Mi Young cried too. Mother really did so much for us. Even working late, she always packed lunches for her children. When they were sick, she would make porridge. Back then I took it for granted, but she was truly amazing. She raised 2 children alone and sent them to college. Chulsu made a decision. Mi Young, let's take this jar back to Mother's house. Really? Yes, that seems right. Mother protected it her whole life. They went to the countryside house. They placed the jar in the corner of the room their mother had cherished most. Mother, now I understand what the real treasure is. Chulsu spoke in front of their mother's photograph. Us loving and helping each other. That's what you wanted, right? Mi Young also bowed to their mother's photograph. Mother, from now on I won't fight with brother. We'll live depending on each other. From that day on, the 2 siblings met often. Chulsu helped with Mi Young's housework, and Mi Young looked after Chulsu's children. It was exactly what their mother had wanted. Though the rice couldn't be eaten, the love contained within it remained forever. It was love passed down from grandmother to mother, from mother to children. We should pass this love on to our children too. Chulsu and Mi Young made a promise to teach what was truly precious, not money or property. Their mother's jar became a treasure for both families. It became a symbol of hope they would visit whenever times were hard. Thus, Kim Soon-ja's true legacy continued to live forever in her children's hearts.